Alright, what's up YouTube? HPJ here, and I'm coming with you guys with another deck profile, and this time it is for Madolche, and with the TCG release of Dark Neostorm, I think it's only efficient that we update the Madolche deck and give it a ton of, I don't know what the heck what just sent me a message, I really don't care. Um, yeah, we're gonna go for Madolche, and we're going to have a big update to my Madolche deck. So without further ado, let's get started. My monster lineup consists of 3 copies of Madolche Angeli, 3 copies of Madolche Food Cake, 2 copies of Madolche Magellan, 2 copies of Madolche Pudding Cesser, 2 copies of Madolche Mufilo, 2 copies of Messenger Gelato, and 1 copy of Pudding Cess. For the rest of the monsters, I'm running 3 copies of As Awesome Joyous Spring. For my spells, I'm running 2 copies of Chateau, 2 copies of Ticket, 2 copies of Double Summon, 2 copies of Mystical Safe Typhoon, and 1 copy each of Raigeki, Dark Hole, Monster Reward, and Scapegoat. For my traps, I'm running 2 copies of Madolche Palooza, 2 copies of Madolche Lesson, 3 copies of Infinity Impermanence, 2 copies of Solemn Strike, and a copy of Solemn Warning. For my extra deck, I'm running 1 copy of Madolche Princess Choco a la Mode, 2 copies of Madolche Queen Tiramisu, 2 copies of Madolche Teacher Glass of Souffle, 2 copies of, 1 copy of Tornado Dragon, 1 copy of Babushka, 1 copy of Abyss Roller, 1 copy of Levy Air the Sea Dragon, and then for the Link Monsters, I'm running 2 copies of Malice Radiant, 2 copies of Madolche Freshest Heart, 1 copy of Cerberus, and 1 copy of Phoenix. There's no Nightmare Unicorn. It was an option, but I decided to drop out. So that's pretty much it for the main and extra deck. The side deck is just variation of cards that I put in there that you have the option to put into yours. If those options suit you, of course, there's Phantasme, there's the Utopia package, there is Gaia Dragoon if you want to put this on top of putting Cess, Chocolate Mode. You have Excitad Knight and Cowboy, um, another MST, an Energy Teleport, another Palooza, another Strike, and a Solemn Judgment. Alright, so let's go on to the main deck itself. There's a lot of things that, of course, change. I dropped 3 Magellines down to 2. This is primarily because most of my deck is not going to need to rely so much on the normal summon. We need cards that can social summon just right off the bat. If I do raw into double summon, it'll help with Magellines effect, of course, to search my deck for a Madolche monster to add it to my hand, and I can social summon. I can double summon and go into the additional monster that I just searched for. Most of the time, I hope it is either Who Cake or Angeli. So we'll start with Angeli, who, just in general, I forgot to mention when I did start talking about Magellan. All the Madolche monsters have the ability that if in your possession they are destroyed by your opponent's card, that's either a battle or card effect, sent to the graveyard, you can send those cards from the graveyard back to the deck and shuffle them in. This is a great recycling mechanic with Madolches. This is one of their optimal recycling setups. It's just overall a great use of them. Now, the biggest use, of course, is their own personal effects. The personal effect of Angeli is actually contribute yourself to such a Dolce monster from your deck to the field. That helps with a ton of these monsters in this deck. And it was such a long time coming because she was officially the first level 4 Madolche monster in the main deck that you did not have to putting Seth out and then tribute summon doing all these crazy shenanigans to get her. It's just such an amazing effect, of course. That helps you get into a large portion of your Madolche plays. I do apologize for the yawn. Madolche Hoot Cake banishes any monster in your graveyard to summon a Madolche monster from your deck to the field. This helps tremendously with link plays, exceed plays, going into multiple monsters, and it gets rid of a lot of monsters in your graveyard so that additional effects can trigger in the graveyard, on the field, and stuff like that. Madolche Messenger, Mufilo. Sorry, I get everybody mixed up. Madolche Mufilo is pretty much your marauding captain that when it's normal summon, you just special summon a monster from your hand. There is level 3, really easy access to rank 3s and 3 combos, and just a great way to special summon a lot of monsters. It's just so adorable. Madolche Pudding says so. So let's talk about the new Madolche Fairy. So this lovely lady, if you control the monster in the graveyard, you can just summon this card from your hand. I also believe you have to have no monsters. Yeah, you have to have no monsters. Oh no, just no monsters in the graveyard. You can just summon this card from your hand. So Who Cake's ability, a lot of recovery effects, a lot of backs and forths in the graveyard. What you can do with this with Pudding Seth is very simple. You can summon a Madolche. Oh, excuse me. Very simple. You set summon a Madolche monster from your deck to the field. When you do, that monster is one level less than what you summoned it off of. And you only use this effect to set summon once a turn. Also, for the rest of the turn, you can only set summon Madolche monsters, which is not hard because they have a Link monster, they have a ton of Xyz, they have a ton of just pure setup, which is great. Mesa and Gelato is pretty much your deck's searcher for spells and traps. The only condition, have to have a beast type Madolche monster to activate and resolve this effect. No, to activate the effect. No, activate and resolve the effect. So you have to have a beast type Madolche. You have to have to when this card is summoned to search for that spell or trap, which is not hard because you have Mifilo and you have Hukin. The other Madolche monster in this deck, of course, is the Pitting Sass, the princess herself of the Madolches. When this lovely lady battles an opponent's monster, and win or lose, you target one card on the board and destroy it. I mean, your opponent controls and destroys it. So if you draw no monsters in your graveyard, and Pitting Sass will gain 800 additional attack and defense. So at least she'll be 1800 attack and defense to run over stuff. Pitting Sass is honestly one of Madolche's biggest break monsters, but not anymore because of the fact that you have cards like Madolche Pudding Sessa that can summon her and then reduce her level. You have Cake and Angeli who can go for her as well. I remember older times of playing Madolches. The only big thing about this deck is that it has a great. It was the reason why you did not have to run Pudding Sessa at that point was because you have Angeli. Angeli is such a great monster. Um, because she can summon Madolche monsters from your deck. She's a level 4 fairy, so it works with the secondary effects of a lot of the Madolche cards. And there was really no need at that point to run Pudding Cess because the rank 4, rank 3 game was such a solid setup. But with this variation of build, if I can get to Pudding Cess, I'm going to go for Pudding Cess. And she's still not a bad monster. It's just a lot of restrictions when you're a level 5 monster. And for the most part, most people would want to tribute summon you. And I think at a point where a lot of cards. I'm sorry. Oh, so sorry about this yawn. I don't. Ugh. I know it gets annoying. I'm so sorry. But yeah, with her, it was a lot of, no one wanted to run her because it wasn't really easy to summon her. And now there is ways to easily summon her. So if you do get the chance, test out some Pitting Cessus and see how far you can go with her. She's a great monster. Let's move on to the last monster, is the hand trap of choice, and that's has lots of joyous springs. I think most people are going to be running her because a lot of decks do search from the deck, so summon from the deck, or try to put cards from the deck to the graveyard. Now let's move on to the spells. I'm running 2 copies of Chateau and Ticket. These are pretty much Madolche's biggest ace spells. Very unique effects, very great combination with all of the Madolche monsters. So, Madolche Chateau, when it's activated, you return all Madolche monsters in your graveyard back to your deck. Then, all Madolche monsters on your field will gain 500 additional attack and defense. If a monster you control is sent to your graveyard by the effect, and return to the deck by the effects of a Madolche monster, um, you'd add that card to your hand, which is great because of the effect of the Madolches. They all have the ability where if they're destroyed in your possession by battle card effect, they can shuffle them back into your deck and keep going. So there's a ton of usage with that. There's a ton of benefits with that. It does rely on pretty much just the control factor of the graveyard and how you manipulate it, which is very strange because you haven't seen this since Necro Valley and how well Necro Valley can do that. Now we're going to move over to Madolche Ticket. So, Ticket's ability is that when a Madolche card is returned to when the Madolche card on your side of the field or in your graveyard is returned back to your hand or your main deck, you can add one Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. The other benefit to this, and this is a key thing to note, if you control a fairy type Madolche monster, you can summon that card you search for to your hand. So this helps with a lot of the big I'm sorry, a lot of the big summons are off of this card. A lot of the combination plays and push plays come from this because of the factor that we have Angeli, we have Pudding Cesar, and we have Pudding Cess. Not to mention, we also still have Madolche Chocolate Alamo, Madolche Queen Misu, and Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. Monsters that are very tight as well, so that helps with tickets secondary effect. Then for the rest of the extra deck, we have doubles. I mean, main deck, we have double summons that help get us that additional normal summon. We have Mystical Sage Typhoon to clear out back row. We have Scapegoat to do link plays. And then, of course, for Geki, Dark Hole, and Monster Reborn um, for some staples. Then we're going to move on to the trap cards. Madolche Palooza is a great special summoning card. You summon all the Madolche monsters in your hand back to the board, then you gain those additional effects, taking out monsters, traps, all that. In a time frame, and this is a great card for Madolche because of its big summon. The only drawback is that the monsters that you summon off of this card will go back to the deck, but I think that should not be hard because you have ways to recover, ways to retrieve them, ways to just send them here and there, and not really have to worry about such a big summon. Next up is Madolche Lesson. So this is a wild card because I couldn't really think of anything I wanted to fit into the deck, and I was like, well, why don't we try Madolche Lesson? So what it does is it targets a Madolche monster, your graveyard shuffles it back into your deck, and if you do, all Madolche monsters you currently control gain 800 attack and defense. Then you can shuffle one monster from your graveyard back into your deck. That helps clear out the graveyard for a lot of crazy shenanigans. It helps keep a lot of things just occupied, and it really does help. It's a Madolche spell. It's a way to put monsters back into my deck. It's just a great, great setup card. It's only highly underutilized because of just other options at the time of how to control and do a lot of things. For the rest of the deck, 2 Solemn Strike, 1 Solemn Warning is for monster control. And for dealing with nasty effects, I have Infinity Impermeance to help. So, that is the main deck. We're going to move on to the extra. But I'll say Pudding says Chocolate Almond Mode is not one of the biggest monsters that you could really think of, but it's one of those utility setup cards. She just, excuse me, is primarily here because you can exceed summon her off of a Dolce monster you control, while she controls Pudding says she can have the ability to take a monster in your graveyard, shuffle it back into the deck, and then you can such summon a monster from your deck to the field in attack position or face down defense. So you have your very options there. It's just one of those monsters that I wouldn't put so much energy into because you really just don't know if it's going to be beneficial or not. I did just really much add it in here just for that, just in case. Um, Really accessible to do if you can get Madolche Pudding Cess to the board, follow up by Madolche Pudding Cess, and then just go from there. She's really, really great in terms of her stats. Her social 7 ability is not bad either. So that is Madolche Chocolate a la Mode. Let's talk about the queen of the Madolche archetype. That is Madolche Queen Tiara Misu. So detach material from her, target up to 2 cards with Madolche in its name. From your graveyard, shuffle those 2 targets back into your deck, and then shuffle those cards you're putting control back into the deck. This card, excuse me, is so amazing. She's such a great monster. She has tons of range, tons of setup, such as creativity, and a lot of people cannot wait. Um, excuse me, a lot of people were very excited to see Madolche get their Exceed monster when they started coming out. She is she is technically their boss monster. She is the queen. Why not have the queen meet the boss monster? And you have a follow-up monster in the form of Madolche Teacher Glass Souffle. Pretty much a very defensive wall, but has a ton of offensive options. So what this lady does is she detaches the material from herself and she targets a machine type monster. I'm sorry. Oops. I got that wrong. I'm so sorry, you guys. I didn't. What she does is she can protect. She targets a Madolche monster in the field and the monster is unaffected by other card effects. Then her additional ability is that she can shuffle any 2 cards back into your deck to add a Madolche card for your deck to your hand. So it helps tremendously recovery. I'm sorry, I'm probably just reading this wrong too. Monster detach material from this card is target monster on every field, unaffected by other trap cards. During the damage, yeah, okay. If a Madolche monster is in the graveyard, during the damage step, you use to shuffle 2 cards in your graveyard. I can see your deck. So recovery, defense. Yep, grandma. I mean, teacher. The teacher is teaching the best. Let's say grandma knows the best. I mean, she be a grandma. Um, I mean, she has the crazy old cat for it. So. Anyway, off of a little bit crazy tangent. The rest of the extra deck, it just falls into itself. For additional destruction of spells and traps, we have Tornado Dragon. For control aspects, we have Babushka in its defensive and offensive plays. We have Abyss Dweller to deal with nasty graveyard effects. We have Levier from the vanish to bring a lot of cards onto the field if needed. Then we have excuse me, two copies of Malice Gradient because I wanted something Scapegoat can go into. The Madolche monsters can go into it themselves. Overall, 800 attacker, 800 defense monster, 800, 500 attack and defense monster. Benefits of those generic setups are just really good for any generic Earth deck. Then we have Madolche Fascist Heart. Very defensive wall type of monster. She'll protect yourselves in traps while you control. Why Madolche monster points to her, Madolche cards you control, spells and traps you control won't be destroyed by card effects, which is great. Then if she were to be targeted by a card effect, um, the safety measure, she could send a Madolche monster for your graveyard back into deck instead to protect herself. So, tons of reasonable support here and there. Then we have, of course, Cerberus to deal with monsters, and Phoenix to deal with back row. I wanted to add Cerberus, but I just was like, I'll just stand strong where everyone is. My overall opinion of this deck, of course, like, it's very cutesy, it's very whimsical, it's very adorable. There are a lot of here and there cards, there are a lot of here and there misses. But I just overall enjoy playing this deck, enjoy putting this deck together. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. I hope to hear from you guys soon. Also, hit that notification bell when you guys want to be informed when I upload my videos and do my live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching. ACJ, signing out. Take care.